And I think that we had a knockout of the year contender on our hands. Not just a knockout of the year, like one of the best knockouts of all time. And the reason why I say that is because when we saw Anderson Silva do a front kick to Vitor Belfort's chin to put the man unconscious, we said, this is some Matrix shit right here. This is something you never see. This is the knockout of knockouts right here. What was the equivalent of the Anderson Silva kick, except less technical? And by less technical, I mean this is a dude trying to punt a football 60 yards. This is a dude trying to hit a field goal from 70 yards out. And this was the face of Tony Ferguson after Michael Chandler punted his chin into the stands. Now, AJ, this is worse than the Frankie Edgar face that was made when Chito Vera hit the front kick. So there's two ways we can think about this. One, amazing by Michael Chandler, right? This is really probably going to be the ultimate highlight of his entire career. It's a shame that it's not a title fight, but that's neither here nor there. The other way you could take away from it is, damn, Chito Vera was the man with the front kick just a couple weeks ago, and now you have been surpassed, my man. So give me your thoughts on this, brother.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, if you're Cheeto, that one burns. That one burns because this was such a perfect front kick, man. He set it up beautifully. He even talked about it. He's like, we all saw it. We saw it in the thing, and especially after the little bit of turmoil that was going on in the fight, man, that was a scrap. This was
Absolutely.
a beautiful one. What I like about this picture you pulled up, Derek, this is perfect technique, man. You can see he has that hollow hole to the abs, full extension. Ball of the foot right on the chin. Tony didn't see it at all. He's reaching to catch. Oof, man, this is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, AJ, that's not what I wanted to take down. AJ, brother, so the point that you hit on is very important. El Cucuy was back. It felt like it, at least. Round one, I mean, he is killing the game. He's hurting Michael Chandler. He's making Michael Chandler become that wrestler that he was talking about. But Tony Ferguson also contradicted himself when he said, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to my wrestling. And he did all of no wrestling. He did all boxing. So that's totally cool. And I'm a little surprised that Chandler didn't decide to shoot earlier because I thought that would have been the most effective game plan against Tony, not strike with him because that's his best shot of winning. But let me take him down. Obviously, you have to watch out for the submission threat, but use that ground and pound that Michael Chandler put on him at the end of round one. Where does this put Tony Ferguson in your book, man? He went from a 12-fight win streak to a 4-fight losing streak where he has, I think this is the only time he's been finished, right? Or maybe 2 times. Justin Gaethje, where honestly, they could have let that go the rest of the round, but you don't want that brain damage, right? And this one where you literally got flatlined. Who flatlines Tony Ferguson like this, AJ? Nobody does. So where do you go if you went from 12 fights in a row, winning the baddest division on the planet, to 4-fight losing skid right now? Dana says he's still an elite top 10 fighter, but what do you think?
I agree with Dana, man. He's still an elite top 10 fighter. The problem is he's not top 5 anymore. Mm-hmm. And the real problem for Tony Ferguson is you can't put him on like the undercards. You know, you can't really put this dude on the not even on the early prelims, man. He sells so much that it'd be such wasted money from the UFC not to put this dude in highlight matches. And the double-edged sword we just saw for Tony Ferguson is that he's back, man. He's dangerous. So you can't put him in there with some young gun that's not going to be able to defend himself. You have the responsibility to give him a good match, give him somebody that can actually, not get completely injured in there. And you got to sell money, man. He's in a really precarious spot because where do you really start feeding him? And with Tony Ferguson, he's a big ego fighter. So you don't really want him to feel like you're shunning him, to the bottom, relegated to the gatekeepers around number 7 and whatnot. But either way, you still want to – I'll scoot over for you, Derek.
No, you good, bro.
You still want him to have entertaining matches and entertaining, a good time. You still want to be able to have him be the person that he is, man. So he's in a real weird spot. I'm thinking that number 5, that number 6 spot, somewhere around there, fighting maybe not – not prospects, but contenders. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where would you put Tony Ferguson in this whole mix?
Well, brother, I mean, it kind of relegates him to a gatekeeper in the top 10 division, right? You know what I mean? He's kind of has to be that guy where it's like you want to get to that next elite tier of fighters. Well, you got to beat Tony Ferguson. And we never really thought it would get to this point because this is a man who's been a perennial top 5 fighter for how many years now? You know what I mean? This is a dude who's supposed to fight he had a guaranteed title shot against Khabib. Tears his knee up. The fight gets rescheduled a billion times. Fights Justin Gaethje, and that was the beginning of the end right there, man. He says, I'm going to opt to fight Gaethje instead of just wait it out for this title shot, and boom. Now, four losses later, here we are. We don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty. He probably needs to take a lot of time off because, listen, brother, you get your head punted into the stands like this, that's not a good look. This picture, though, does this encapsulate it a little better right here, man? I mean, this dude's forehead is flat on the mat. He was unconscious for a solid minute, man, after... And here's the worst thing. He was unconscious for a solid minute after he got knocked out, and Michael Chandler did like 4 backflips like right after. So there's nothing worse than getting separated from your consciousness than waking up and seeing a dude backflipping over your body. Like that's to me, this is the most disrespect, and this is not disrespect in a bad way, but disrespect in just, the fight game. But this is one of those moments that can make or break you. We need to see the mental resilience of Tony Ferguson, because can he come back from such a debilitating, embarrassing loss like this? Like, can you mentally come back from that? What do you think?
Man, I think so. Just because he is that ego fighter, he does have that big persona to him, and I think whether he does or he doesn't in the first fight, he's gonna fake it, so we're not gonna know. And if he has a good fight after he comes back from this, then he'll be able to resurge. But that's gonna be a hard one, man. Somebody doing the shenanigans of doing 4 backflips after he knocks you cold while you're booty to the sky.
Yeah.
Whew, it's gonna be a hard one for El Kukui, man. My wishes are with him, man.
I agree with you, brother. So this is the last piece that I have on this. For a Tony Ferguson, a lot of his persona is the bravado of, I'm gonna ankle pick you at the ceremonial weigh-ins. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk all this trash, shades and blades. You know what I mean? Come on, baby, shades and blades, elbows, let's go. That's a lot of that. But how can you talk that mess when you just got your head punted into the stands? And I'm not even saying that in like a derogatory sense, but I don't know how else to describe this other than Michael Chandler literally tried to kick a field goal 70 yards and landed on this dude's chin. And there's a reason why, for folks at home who are like, bro, go back to pride rules, soccer kicks, you know what I mean? Like, let's stomp their heads in. Like, you don't want that. I don't think you quite understand the how would you say, the detriment that has on a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you're not trying to get curb stomped or soccer kicked. Like, that's not what we want. There's going to be real mental repercussions and CTE damage and all that. But a win is a win. And Michael Chandler, he is definitely in that perennial top 5 now. Now, he is that dude who is like, he has to be within that title mix at all times, because we know he has the explosiveness to put anybody's lights out at any given time. Now, a 3-round, 5-round banger, that might not be the same thing. But if it goes round 1, round 2, man, Michael Chandler can do some devastating things to you. You have anything else on this fight, brother?
I think you actually just brought up, man, how big of a star do you find Michael Chandler being, man? Because with that aspect and the mic time he has and how he's calling out, Conor McGregor, and the fact that you put this dude in there, it's gonna be fireworks no matter what. Could he be the next big cash cow? I mean, he already is Dana White's favorite fighter. How close do you seeing it be the cash cow? Because when you were just talking about it right there, that's what came into my mind. Like, I could see money being made on this guy.
I see a more popular, even though it's weird because Justin Gaethje going into this fight, right? Justin Gaethje had 9 fights, 10 performance bonuses, or like 10 bonus awards, right? In his 9 fights. It's like, how do you have more bonuses than you have fights? But you know what I mean? He had that, right? I see Michael Chandler being an even more popular version of Justin Gaethje now. A dude who is right there, right next to the title, but every shot he gets, he just doesn't quite get it at the highest level. But he's still that entertaining, knock your socks off fighter. Does that sound like an apt kind of comparison?
Yeah, I could see it. I was exactly just thinking that, man. It sounds like every time you can really just put a highlight reel of this dude's even his last fights in the UFC, and people are going to be drawn in. The casuals, he's very casual friendly, I think is what I was trying to, wrap my mind around, because he's the American, he's the guy that's going to encapsulate,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and that's why I was even going to say, if Michael Chandler was headlining this card instead of Gaethje, I think it might have sold more tickets, to be honest with you, bro. To be completely honest, I don't think this one was a sellout, man. I was looking at a sheet that was showing all the resale tickets on there, and it was kind of a lot over there in Arizona. Even though it was a packed house, I do think that Michael Chandler would have probably been able to make it a little more popular, just because, like you said, the mic time, man, this dude's an all-American hero. There's nothing else you could say on that.